Evelyn's hands trembled as she held the second anonymous letter, her heart pounding with fear and confusion as she stared at Ian, who stood in the doorway with soft, concerned eyes that suddenly felt different, mysterious, unreadable, and for the first time she wondered if the young man she had married, the man who healed her broken heart, was hiding a darker truth. So that night, while Ian slept, Evelyn searched through his belongings and found a small black notebook with Michael's name written inside it, and panic surged through her body as she flipped the pages only to discover dates, locations, and observations that looked like Ian had been watching them long before he was hired. The next morning she confronted him, tears streaming down her face, accusing him of lying, but Ian stepped forward with a painful calmness and revealed the truth. He had been secretly hired by Michael months before his death because Michael believed someone was following him and wanted Ian to quietly watch the house for Evelyn's safety. But before Ian could explain fully, the doorbell rang and a police officer handed Evelyn the final shocking letter, this time with evidence. Michael had been under investigation for illegal financial dealings, and someone wanted him silenced. And the person behind the letters was the same attacker trying to frame Ian out of jealousy because Ian had discovered the truth before anyone else. Suddenly the lights went out, glass shattered, and a masked intruder broke into the house, attacking Ian, who fought desperately to protect Evelyn, and after a brutal struggle the intruder was caught, Michael's former business partner, who admitted to killing Michael and trying to blame Ian, and as the police took him away, Evelyn collapsed into Ian's arms, realizing he had been protecting her from the beginning, and with tears of relief she whispered that she trusted him more than ever, holding him close as their love, once doubtful, now stood unbreakable, forged through danger, truth, and a destiny neither of them had expected. After the intruder was arrested and the truth about Michael's corrupt business partner was exposed, Evelyn and Ian tried to return to a normal life. But peace didn't come easily, because the media began to twist their love story. Reporters camped outside their home claiming the marriage was strange. Neighbors whispered behind their backs, and even distant relatives accused Ian of marrying Evelyn for money. Yet despite the pressure, Ian stayed strong and kept reassuring her that love built through pain and honesty could survive anything. Still, Evelyn noticed that Ian was becoming restless, waking up at night, staring out the window as if expecting danger, and one evening she found him secretly packing a small bag, his hands shaking. And when she demanded answers, he confessed that Michael's partner was only one piece of a larger criminal network that believed Ian knew too much, and he feared staying with Evelyn might put her life at risk again. But Evelyn grabbed his hands tightly, refusing to let him go, telling him that love doesn't hide, it fights. The next day, just when they decided to leave Austin for a fresh start, a black car followed them on the highway and forced them off the road, and masked men stepped out threatening to kill them both unless Ian handed over the files Michael had given him secretly before his death. Documents he never told Evelyn about because he didn't want to pull her deeper into danger. With no escape, Ian handed Evelyn a small USB drive and whispered, "If anything happens to me, take this to the FBI," before stepping forward to distract the men. But Evelyn, refusing to lose the second man she had ever loved, bravely smashed the car's alarm, triggering attention from nearby drivers, causing the attackers to panic and flee. And as the police arrived, Evelyn realized how close she came to losing everything again. Later, when detectives analyzed the USB, they discovered proof of a massive crime ring Michael had accidentally uncovered, confirming that Ian was the key to exposing all of it. And because of his bravery, the FBI offered them full protection and a chance to start a new life under security. And as Evelyn and Ian stood hand in hand watching the sunrise over a quiet safe house in Colorado, Evelyn realized that their love had survived grief, suspicion, crime, and death. And now it was no longer just a story of healing. It was a story of two souls meant to find each other even in the storm, a love stronger than danger, stronger than age, stronger than the world itself. Weeks passed in the quiet protection of the Colorado safe house, and for the first time in a long time, Evelyn and Ian breathed without fear. But even in safety, the weight of everything they had survived, Michael's death, betrayal, danger, and the criminal network pressed heavily on their hearts, and Evelyn often worried that the world would never let them live in peace. Still, their love grew stronger, and one snowy evening Ian surprised her with a small candlelit dinner, taking her hands and promising that when everything ended, he wanted to give her a life filled with laughter, travels, and new memories untouched by pain. But just when they believed the storm had finally passed, the FBI informed them that one last leader of the criminal ring was still missing and might come after Ian, forcing them to remain inside for a few more days. And on the final night before their release, the safe house alarm suddenly went off, shaking the walls and sending agents running down the hall. While Evelyn grabbed Ian's arm in terror, fearing the worst, the power went out. Footsteps echoed, and a masked figure broke into their room, pointing a gun at Ian, shouting that he wanted the names of every contact Michael had exposed. But before Ian could respond, Evelyn stepped in front of him with a fierce courage she never knew she had, telling the intruder he would have to kill her first because she wouldn't let him take away the man who saved her life, her heart, and her future. And in that moment, FBI agents stormed in, tackling the attacker and finally capturing the last member of the criminal ring, ending the nightmare once and for all. When the chaos settled, Ian held Evelyn tightly, tears in his eyes, and whispered that her bravery had saved him again, and she replied that love had given her strength she didn't know existed. And months later, after the investigation closed and the world quieted down, they moved to a peaceful lakeside town where nobody knew them, starting a new life together with soft mornings, warm coffee, playful arguments, gentle dances in the kitchen, and long walks under golden sunsets. And one evening by the shimmering water, Ian placed a ring on Evelyn's finger, this time not rushed by fear, but chosen in freedom, and promised to love her in every lifetime. And Evelyn, finally healed and whole again, realized that love had not just returned to her life. It had rebuilt it entirely, and so their story ended not in tragedy or suspense, but in a love that survived storms, danger, judgment, and fate itself, proving that hearts meant to meet will always find each other, no matter the age, country, or obstacles between them.